guys, welcome to the Uncreative Crafter. It is Sunday, July 12th. I'm your host, Jen. You can find me around the internet mostly as Stormcoast, Ravelry, Twitter, Instagram. On the Ravelry group is the Uncreative Crafter Podcast Fans. And there's probably something I'm forgetting, but there'll be a big scrolly list at the end. All right, this is episode 13, which is kind of crazy. I looked and I didn't realize I've actually been doing this for 6 months, which is kind of cool. I kind of figured I'd fizzle after a couple episodes, so woohoo! We have got a lot to talk about today, which, considering how little I feel like I've gotten accomplished, is pretty interesting. But the cats are kind of sleepy. We'll see what we can get through. First up, and it's going to be all out of order. If you've watched before, this is primarily a fiber arts podcast, mostly knitting, some spinning, even less weaving, and almost no crochet. I don't think I've even had any crochet since I started. Occasionally I throw in a couple other things, and I've got segments, but today all the segments are kind of going to bleed into each other. So I'll try to make it as organized as possible, and I appreciate you making the attempt to stick with me. Alright, so first up, we'll just kind of throw in some random chat. I guess we'll save On the Edge for later. But I did my first virtual knit night, which was pretty neat. Andrea of the Cat Lady podcast, CATT for Craft All the Things, was hosting a virtual knit night and was nice enough to, she invited everybody in the group, but she was nice enough to let me sort of horn in and join the group. I've never done a virtual knit night before, and I've actually never used Google Hangout before either. So I think I kind of sat there looking stupid and just grinning for a few minutes, and everybody was really nice and very welcoming. I think everybody else already knew each other already, so that can be a little awkward and weird, at least for me, being like the new kid and everybody already knows each other, but they were all really sweet. Like, it's not like anybody didn't make me feel welcome. I just am a doofus, basically. But it was Andrea of the Cat Lady podcast, and Sue from Two Tangled Skeins, the video podcast, and Amanda from the Stitching You and More podcast. And except for the Cat Lady podcast, I'd never seen any of these podcasts, and they were, very nice, linking me and asking me to join their groups and whatnot, and maybe everybody there was a podcaster. There were a couple other people whose names I'm absolutely blanking on, who maybe everybody was a podcaster there, and now I don't remember. But those are the ones who I remember who had podcasts, so I thought I'd throw them out there. And Sue actually mentioned my little podcast on her most recent episode. Her co-host, Lynn, wasn't in the VKN, but I did just watch episode 119, and Sue was very nice to mention me. And I know I've had a few new YouTube subscribers and a couple new members in the Ravelry group, which is awesome. And welcome, and I hope you like it, and I hope you stick around, and I won't be offended if you don't. So, also, while I'm in the vein of people mentioning the podcast, I just caught up with Cutesy Poo Creations, who is Kendra, and in episode 16, she throws in a little mention of my podcast because she'd been doing the New to You Along, and her new thing was zippers, and she made really awesome bags and the coolest zip-up wallet that I've seen, which is really neat. And sewing in general scares me, so to do something like zippers and sewing is really cool. And she's also reading War and Peace, which, if you've been watching, you know that we'll get to that towards the end. So that was sort of an interesting thing in my life, and I wasn't totally freaked out, so maybe I'll do it again sometime. Be a little bit more confident the next time, maybe. So, going completely out of order, I only have one finished object for you this week, and you will see why. I had started, I was doing ball band dishcloth, and the main color of the last one that I finished was blue, and the contrast bricks were the mint green. And I had extra cotton yarn, so I decided I would do the opposite, so the mint green is the main color and the blue is the contrast. I did finish it, so I just have to weave in those pesky ends, as usual. But I mean, I love this pattern. It's got so much bang for your buck. Like, people see it and they think it's the coolest thing ever. It's not complicated. And really good scrubbies and good absorbency. I actually have one that I made a little bit longer for us that we use as a hand towel in the bathroom or the kitchen. So that is my finished object. Okay, let's do stash acquisitions. So, what I am stashing. So, Knit Picks brought Felici back. Felici? I call it Felici. Probably wrong. And I bought some the last time they did that, and I bought the rainbow colorway and the, I think it's Time Traveler, it's their Doctor Who scarf colorway. And I have been hoarding that stuff. I have not touched it. I wanted to get better at knitting socks before I did it, because those are yarns that I'm not going to be able to get again. They don't carry them, maybe in a D-stash if I were lucky. So I've been hoarding those. You can't just order one. You might as well get free shipping. So bear with me, as stuff is still in the bag here, because I couldn't find it up until 2 seconds before podcasting. So, I got 3 different colors of the Felici, and this is a mess. So, this is the Knit Picks Felici in Mosaic, which is normally not a set of colors that I would choose for myself, but I'm kind of intrigued. I like it's called Mosaic. It's sort of an orangey desert colorway. It makes me think of like Arizona. I don't know. Just these sort of faded, bright colors, which I think is really cool. So I got 2 of Mosaic, and I got, as I pull them all out, because that might just be easier, I got 2 in Baker Street, because I'm a humongous nerd, and I love Sherlock. And I like Sherlock, before it was a TV show on the BBC. So that is another thing that I got. And then I got, I think this one is different. Okay. And I got Glacier, which really cool blues and light greens, and yeah, makes me think of like Alaska, I guess, which probably is the point, Glacier, right? And then I still wasn't at free shipping, but I didn't love the other colors. And so I picked up some Knit Picks Chroma fingering. And this is a green color. It's called New Leaf. And I had been sort of, seeing what other yarns I was interested in. And this was one of them. They didn't have like the super rainbowy one that I think is what most people think of when they think of chroma, but I had found this cowl pattern where you alternate a variegated with a solid, and since I have some silver Fiber Stash Twinkle Toes left over from some weaving that I have not been doing because I'm a terrible person, I thought maybe I'd give that a try. So that is the yarn that I got from Knit Picks, but I still wasn't at free shipping. So I got a chart keeper. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. They're pretty interesting. I don't do a lot of charted knitting, but when I do, I feel like this is going to come in really handy. So basically, it snaps open, and I literally just took this out of the package, so the little silica thing is still there. So these are magnets, and you have your pattern up, and you put a magnet wherever you are to help keep your spot. So I'm excited to try that. Maybe when Ozzy the kitten has calmed down a little, I'll have some brain space to do some stuff like that. So that's what I got from Knit Picks. And then a really awful, tragic thing happened. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this. My husband and I, usually I'm the one who goes to the laundromat and does the laundry, just because I'm better at it. And he goes and he does the grocery shopping because he cooks. So he did have me go down to the laundromat to just hang out with him. And as I'm helping him pull out the laundry from the dryer, I said, "Oh my God, why is this in the wash? And I had made, and you probably remember these from a few episodes ago, my scrappy alpaca socks. And they are alpaca, and I believe nylon, and they are wool, but they are not superwash wool. And one of them had gotten into the laundry basket somehow. My only thought is that he was rearranging the bedroom, and maybe, because sometimes I'll put stuff on top of the hamper, but it's not actually in the hamper, and I'm thinking it fell in somehow. And we have one of those 4 divider hampers from when we had a washer and dryer, and now it's just like when you fill up one section or 2 sections, we know we need to do laundry. And so I'm frantically looking for the other one, and I can't find it. Got home, and I found the other one in one of the other hamper sections that he had not looked in and not emptied the laundry from. So he shrank one of my socks. It's not terrible, like it could have been a lot worse. But so, I mean, these are the socks. This is the one that was felted. I think you can kind of see the loss of stitch definition on the heel and whatnot. And so this is the one that, remember I had to buy the extra yarn out of someone's D-stash to finish it? So when I'm holding them up next to each other, there's an obvious loss of size there. And since I knit these to fit my foot, I can put it on and wear it, but it's not comfortable. And I really wish that he had accidentally felted both of them, because people on Facebook and people on Instagram are like, oh, find someone whose foot fits them, or make them into mittens, or whatever. And that means that I have to intentionally put the other one in the wash. It was bad enough finding it in the dryer. You want me to put it in there intentionally and ruin it? I'm going to need a drink if I'm going to do that. So next time we do laundry, he's going to have to be the one to do it. But I don't think people realize, like, only one of them got felted. Is the other one going to felt the same way and shrink the same way? I hope so, because I don't know the buttons he pressed on the washing machine. I don't necessarily think I can duplicate that. So it is a tragedy. I think I wore these to bed only a few times, and I was going to hand wash them. I never got around to it. And so I guess it is my fault for leaving them out. But so anyway, I cried. I'm not gonna lie. And then my husband felt really guilty, and he's like, what do you want? Do you want some more yarn? And I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I understand you didn't mean it. And then I thought about it, and even though I had done the order from Knit Picks, I thought, you know what, I do want some new yarn, actually. I'm going to go down to the local yarn store, which I've never purchased yarn from, and I'm going to go support them. And this is just guilt money, and that's okay. So I went to my local yarn store also, and got a couple of things there. So it's a very expensive stash week this week. So, cannot for the life of me pronounce this. Xiaogu? Never. I've heard different ways. Yes, they're size zeros. Yes, I already have some Knit Picks size zeros. Yes, I already have some size zero double pointed needles. But my double pointeds are in use on the sock yarn mini blanket, the mitered square blanket, and my other zeros were stuck in the pink scrappy socks that were in the naughty corner. And I thought, you know what, it doesn't hurt to have another set of zeros. I can try it on my next project, whatever. And the price was right, so decided to give these a try. Have not opened them yet. So got some needles. And then I bought some, as I reach, I bought some Euroflax, Louette Euroflax linen. And it is 100% linen. I have worked with linen before. I made a hand towel for our bathroom, and it was not the world's most fun experience. If you've ever used linen, you know it's a beast. But then you wash it and you dry it, and it's beautiful. And that is something that my husband can put in the washing machine. So I thought, you know, why not? I'm not feeling the wool so much right now because it's so hot. And I want to have, you know, nice stuff to work on. I haven't started anything on this yet, but I think I want to make another hand towel. So this beautiful seafoam green color is seafoam green. You guys hit that nail on the head. So, and then the last thing I bought, and this one's kind of funny, they had a whole wall of sock yarn, and I have been looking for a bigger sock yarn lately. I love knitting the fingering weight socks. The price per hour of those socks is just great because it takes you forever. But I've been looking for a bigger one, and they actually had some worsted weight yarn that had nylon in it, and found one in a color that I really liked. And yeah, so I bought this, and it is Regia, which everybody's talking about Regia right now, I feel like. And it is the 8 fatigue color, so I assume that's like, what, 8 ply? Something like that. So it may or may not look like that when I'm done, I'm not really sure. These sort of like subtle rainbowy, but it's sort of got that like brownish undertone, which is interesting. And this is dimensionally stable. I have no idea what that means. It is 150 grams and 328 yards. So I'm thinking I can get a couple pairs of socks out of it, especially since I knit mine a bit shorter on the leg because I've got big calves and a bit shorter foot. So, and it's a 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And then when I opened it up, I noticed there was writing on the inside, and I thought, oh, maybe it's a pattern or something. And I did not know this before I bought it. This yarn comes with a guarantee. It literally says in it, 10 years from the time you buy it, like, your satisfaction's guaranteed. If it shrinks, if it felts, if you're not happy with it, we'll send you some more. So these are socks my husband can put in the washing machine because they're guaranteed, which I think is awesome. And so I am having fun with that. All right, so that kind of leads into in progress, now that we are totally off base for my show notes. So, just like last time, got my drop stitch scarf, which I have not made a ton of progress on it since last time. It's tough to work on at work because I always want to make sure that I get at least 1 4-row repeat done, so I'm not forgetting where I am and I don't have to count my rows. But I did make some good progress on it. I did work on it a little bit in the virtual knit night, so, and I think I only messed up and dropped stitches once and I fudged it back, so we are pretty good. And it's getting there. I've still got a lot of yarn left, but it finally gets to a point where it's I can make it like a cowl. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a full scarf because it's pretty and I'm trying to use up the yarn. But, you know, made some good progress on it. Not a lot. It's sort of been in hiatus just because of some other stuff I've been working on, but we'll get into that. So, and then so this one's not really in progress, but one of the things that you guys, if you've been watching, have seen is my scrappy socks. The last pair I was making was out of some pink Plymouth Yarn Neon Now, and I did the whole short row heel, got all the way back around to where I was going to join for the top of the foot, and I was off by 2 stitches, and I hadn't dropped any stitches that I could tell, and I didn't know how to fix it, and I hadn't put in a lifeline, which I know better. I should always put in a lifeline. Oh, there's Dorian. He's shaved, so he looks kind of awkward, but he's much cooler. He's got little boots. It's kind of cute. So, yeah, I ripped back on my pink socks. Finally sat myself down. My husband was out yesterday doing something, and I said, it's quiet. You'll figure it out. Picked up stitches, ripped back, wasn't quite where I needed to go. Picked up the row stitches underneath it, got to the last 2 stitches, and they wouldn't unravel, and so I just kind of fudged it and knitted those 2 so the yarn would get to the end to where it needed to go. And so I did rip back, and I will, at some point, do the heel on it again. So, as I drop everything. So I was pretty proud of myself for ripping it back. And I did put in a lifeline. So I'll get these cranking again. But anyway, since I finished doing that, I said, okay, if you can get back to where you need to go on these socks, you can treat yourself a little bit. Because I didn't treat myself enough with the yarn, right? And I said, you can start some new socks if you get there. So I did, and I am doing Ann Budd's Getting Started Knitting Socks, her basic 5 stitches per inch recipe, because I got the worsted weight sock yarn. And I'm kind of following a sock I've already made, my red socks, out of the Cascade 220 Superwash, following those same basic measurements, so not really using what she does, because I've done this a few times and I know the fit of my foot, but anyway. And the nice thing is that I'm almost at the point where I'm going to do the heel flap, and I started these yesterday. So, bear with me as I grab this super long cord. There we go. They're attached still to the yarn. So, I have done the cuff, and I'm now knitting, the top of the leg. And I'm really enjoying how this is knitting up. It's got a nice squishy feel. I did get gauge 5 stitches per inch, and it's sort of this muted rainbow, but it's really pretty, and I like it. And I'm excited. One of the reasons I was looking into getting this yarn was because Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast is doing a rainbow knit-along. And now I get to enter the rainbow knit-along as soon as I finish these. So I'm excited to finally be able to post in the chatter thread. I've been holding off since I got this yesterday. And yeah, so I will be hopping in there shortly and sharing the rainbow goodness, which is pretty awesome. And in progress also, and this is why it's a weird episode, yeah, spinning. You know, that thing that I haven't done in like a million years. Well, it is Tour de Fleece, and I have been spinning. Not on the wheel, but on some spindles. So, yeah. And I've actually got 2 things to show you. So, yeah. Alright. First up, you may remember when I went to New Hampshire Sheep and Wool, I got a spindle from Contented Butterfly Farms, or farm, it's just one farm, and I was looking for something that I might enjoy spinning on it, and my friend Christy of Fiber Stash, I had some of her Polworth that I bought, I think Vermont Sheep and Wool 2013, because I didn't go last year, and yeah, so I have been spinning my little heart out. So this is the spindle, again, top roll, drop spindle, and I have made some really good progress. Look at that fat cop. That cop is so fat. And I'm using a little chip clip to keep the twist from traveling up. And my goal was 15 minutes a day. Pretty sure I've been exceeding that. This has just been a pleasure, though. I've started bringing it to work, so I haven't been knitting at work, I've been spinning at work. I figure people already think I'm weird, or they know I'm weird, so I might as well make some yarn while I'm there. And I'm available for parties. If you want a completely weird skill that most people won't appreciate, hire me out. So, this has just been a really extremely pleasant experience, and I think it's probably a combination of 3 things. 1, the spindle is super light, so you can probably kind of tell, but I'm spinning it pretty thin. Obviously I'm not totally checking to see how thin I'm spinning. I'm just doing it by feel and, whatever. But the spindle is super light, so I'm able to spin easily without fatigue. Polworth, I already knew that I liked spinning Polworth because I've spun it on the wheel before. Like how it spins, like how it floofs up. So I'm very excited for the end product. It's a nice, longer stapled wool. So I really enjoy spinning it, which is one of the reasons I bought it. And then also, I learned a new spinning technique. I was looking up videos on drop spindling because I've tried drop spindling in the past and I've not really had a ton of success. More dropping than spindling. And I thought maybe I could find some tip that would be a little bit more helpful. And so usually what I was doing is I was spinning it down my leg. and parking and drafting in between my knees. And I watched, I want to say it's Paradise Fibers video on YouTube, and she showed parking and drafting underneath your armpit, which probably everybody knows that, but I didn't know that. So it makes it really, I mean, I'm not worried about it spinning too long because I'm grabbing it much sooner. I'm spinning it up by my face so I can see it. And then I'm literally just grabbing it under here and getting the twist and taking it and spinning it a little bit more. And yeah, I've dropped it a few times, but the fiber itself has not broken, I think. So it's going really, really well. I've got a little bit more left. I split it into 2, and I'm going to try to spin all 4 ounces on here. I think I can do it. I think, I've got a good amount of room left. So, and then I'll make a center pull ball and apply it back on itself. So that's the first thing that I did. And then last week was spinning group. And the lady who knows how to support spindle was there. And she brought in some yarn barf. And I said, I'll help you untangle it if you don't mind showing me how to use the supported spindle. She probably would have anyway, but I did my good deed for the day. I ended up joining team support spindlers on Ravelry because I wasn't really thinking about joining any teams, and they didn't close their thread fast enough, so I kind of snuck in there. And everybody there is spinning super, super fine and thin, and I am not, but that's okay. So I have my Russian supported spindle, and we'll kind of go out of order in the show notes here. So I did find a case for it, by the way. 500 cable ties from Ocean State Job Lots. Did not need 500 cable ties, did not need 1 cable tie, gave them away. But look at how well that fits in there. I'm planning on, I'm sure that I'll decoupage this at some point. Decoupage is a thing that I haven't done, but it just barely fits, which is great. Those are, my little scraps of fiber, but I just, pop a little bit of my fiber to cushion it, and as long as I make sure to sort of lean it in there, it fits perfectly. So that was pretty awesome. You'll notice I have a completely empty Russian spindle, and I'll show you that in a minute. I was using a bowl that I had gotten from Big Lots. It was a bit, fatter, and I went back to a couple different stores trying to find something with a bit of a smaller radius so the spindle wasn't, bouncing all over the place. Great lesson, very helpful, learned a lot. So I bought this tinier bowl, still bigger than a lot of people who support spindle use, but it's been working pretty well for me. To the point where I could actually even spin in bed, which was kind of neat. And I did the Wee Beastie bat that I bought from Contented Butterfly Farm, also at the New Hampshire Sheep and Wool Festival. And this one was, if you remember, 1 ounce, 60% wool, 30% mohair, 10% silk. And 1 ounce was like the perfect amount. Kept me busy for like a week. And I just finished spinning the singles last night. I did spin the singles counterclockwise, and I'm saying that out loud so I remember it. I've been spinning the singles of the Polworth clockwise. More comfortable on the supported spindle right now doing it counterclockwise. That's cool, I just have to remember it. So let me grab the singles. I just turn them into a playing ball. And look at how pretty that came out. Granted, it is super thick and thin, as I learned to draft and handle fiber. It was probably pretty ambitious. I don't think I've ever even spun something with mohair, and I need to work on my drafting because you'll see lots of parts where, I pulled the silk out from the other fibers, for example. But gonna work on trying to apply this. Maybe today. Work on it. Never applied on a Russian spindle, so that'll be interesting. I did end up watching some of my Drafting the Long and Short of It DVD, which I got for Christmas last year. I asked for it, and I have not watched it, and it's now July. So I had the day before the 4th of July off and went to the beach, and then I came home and I watched some of the DVD, knowing that I was going to be doing my drop spindle, and thinking, well, maybe I'll find something that's applicable. And she did long draw a little bit, and that's kind of what you're doing with the supported spindle. which is kind of neat. And yeah, I'm not perfect at it, but looks like yarn. It's going to look more like yarn when I apply it, hopefully. So that's pretty cool. And if you follow me on Instagram, or if you're interested in seeing what it looks like when I support spindle, I had my husband take a little video of me in bed. And so I'm wearing my fabulous bright pink pajama pants, and it's sort of weirdly placed in between my legs. But if you can ignore all those things, you can sort of get a sense of what it looks like to support spindle if you've never seen it. I'm not going to pretend I'm amazing at it, because I'm not, but there is a short video of me doing that on my Instagram, if that's something you're interested in. So, yeah, that is Tour de Fleece. All right, next up, we've got, swap package, yay! So, I've only been talking about it for like a month, but one of the group members, Iggy Star, and I finally did our mini skein swap package. It is the first swap that I've ever done online. I've done a couple in person now, but yeah, so that's pretty neat. I got my package mailed out, I think last week, and it got there really quick. I was really impressed. She was very patient with me, and I sent her 5 mini skeins. And I'm assuming I've written them down properly, but maybe I'm lying to you. And I sent her stuff, and I told her the projects that I made out of it too, because I thought, this is the yarn, this is the colorway, but then also this is like, when you look at it, you'll say, oh, those are Jen's blah-de-blahs or whatever. So I sent her some Line Brand Magic Stripes, which is the first, no, I'm lying to you. I made some loom socks out of those. A friend had given that to me a long time ago, and I had a little bit left over, so I sent her some of that. And some Schoppel Walla Crazy Zauberball, that I also made some socks out of. Those were my first needle knit socks. And then I sent her some, I'm pretty sure I sent her some Dream in Color Smushy, which I made the sock head hat out of. I sent her some Red Heart and Soul, which is the first blanket square in my blanket is Red Heart and Soul. And I think those were my first loom knit socks. And then I sent her a little bit of some Fiber Stash Twinkle Toes that I had made a shawl out of. So I don't have a ton of like indie dyers, and I was upfront with her about that. But she was really sweet, and she was like, yeah, whatever you've got, you can send it to me. And so I sent her sort of this random variety pack. And then just because she was really sweet and she'd been very patient with me, and also because I've seen other people do this, I threw in a couple extra goodies. So I sent her some tea, found it at the store. It is some Stash chocolate mint tea. More mint than chocolate. I think it smells more chocolatey than it tastes, but I like mint tea, and I thought, I'd never seen anything like that, and maybe it would be fun for her to try. And then, so this is cheating. This is extra credit, but we're throwing it in here. I made her some stitch markers. I pulled out my beading supplies, and I made her 10 little stitch markers. And did I take a picture of any of this before I sent it to her? No. But I do have a picture of the bead setup to prove that I did it. And they look pretty similar to some stitch markers I'd made previously, so I'll try to insert a picture here so you can see what they look like. Disclaimer, these are not actually the stitch markers I made for Iggy Star. These were an older prototype. And I followed PDX Knitterati's tutorial, which you need beading wire and crimp beads, etc. And you make a little loop, and you've got your beads, and then you crimp and you crimp. And I try to do it in a way that's, when you cut the wire at the bottom, I try to make them snagless. I'm not perfect, which is why I'm not selling them or anything like that, but if they don't work, Iggy Star, please let me know, and I will make you some new ones. And I just got her swap package in the mail, which was really awesome. And she wrote me the nicest letter. She said some really sweet things about the podcast, which was awesome to hear. And she spoiled me a little bit. Actually, she spoiled me a lot. I don't know why I'm reaching for that. That's the fiber. We're just going to throw things at this point in the day, because why not? So, she sent me a lovely letter, which I will not read to you, and she totally spoiled me. Now, she wanted 5 gram skeins, because that is what she works with, and she makes her blanket. And I said, hey, would you mind sending me maybe like, I don't know the math, I think I asked for like 7 3-gram balls. I don't know. I said, do you mind sending me just a couple of 3-gram balls, because that's what I end up using. I make smaller squares, knitting on tiny needles. And she was really awesome, and she said, yeah, absolutely. And I'm reading her letter, and I'm looking at what's in here, and I'm like, that's more than we said you would do. So she totally spoiled me. And I'm not gonna have what each one of these is called. I'll put it in the show notes. Oh, and she sent me the cutest little notions pouch. How cute is this? It's a little triangle bag, a little pyramid. And I don't know if you made this or not. Super cute. You know, just pop some little, because, you know, I put them right in the bag, and then I'm worried about losing them. So this is perfect. I've got stitch markers just rolling around in one of my project bags right now, and so I'm going to totally put them in here instead. This is super cute, and it's got socks on it. On a line. It's so stinking cute. And so she sent me, and she told me all of what she made out of hers too, which I think is awesome. So, like, I think this one is Knit Picks Felici, and she makes a lot of preemie caps, which is really awesome, and not something I would have thought to do with fingering weight yarn, but it's perfect. So I think that one's Felici, and I think this one's Felici. And it's cool too, because especially with the limited reserves now, you can't get these colors anymore for the most part. And then she sent me, I think this one's Knit Picks Felici too. So like, my mojo for this blanket, I'm gonna start working on it again, because I have not been working on it. And then this one, okay, this one's called Bacon. I know that. You know, I'm just gonna look at the notes, and it's just gonna be a long episode, so. What did she say this one was? This one is Bacon by Bacon by Purple Goddess Design, which is neat. And then it's in here somewhere. Where do I keep throwing things? And then she sent me some. This one is. This is Desert Vista Dye Works, which is cool. Like, I've used the Felici, but I've never used most of this yarn, so it's really sweet of her to send me such a good variety. This one's got sparkles in it, and I don't know why my hands are so shaky. Alright, and then, oh, okay, this is Knit Picks Felici too. I just wasn't expecting that colorway out of them. But, and it's nice, I feel like I sent her mostly like reds and blues, because I tend to knit with similar colors. I tend to gravitate towards the same colors. And she sent me like this stinking humongous variety pack. And this one is Lollipop Yarns in Angry Birds, which, like, obviously, how could it be anything other than Angry Birds? But that's really cool. I've heard really good things about Lollipop Yarns. And then she said, oh yeah, I joined that Facebook group that you mentioned, which is, I didn't write down the name of it, but I'll put it in the show notes, mini skein swap or something like that. It's a closed group, but, you know, you just request and invite and they let you in. And I actually haven't joined any of the swaps, but she did. So she goes, oh, I forgot that I had joined one of the swaps, but I also, you know, got some mini skeins from one of the dyers, and so I had some duplicates. So I hope you don't mind these duplicates. Well, shucks, you know, I'll take them, I guess. And these are Gnome Acres, who's another dyer that I've never used, and you can probably figure out that this one is Hulk Smash, and this one is this one is Ultron, and then we've got Thor. At least I'm pretty sure that one's Thor. Yeah, so I've just got a couple of mini skeins now. Just a few. Yeah. So for my first swap, Iggy Star totally spoiled me, and that was really sweet, and thank you so much. And I'm totally open to doing swaps with other people. I do want to make a few projects so I can have a little bit of a better variety of stuff. But yeah, so that was my swap. And then I think we've still got some time for On the Edge. And War and Peace. 73%. I've not gone to the gym, but I've been reading War and Peace. Guess what? There's more war. People have started eating it, biting the dust, whatever your favorite euphemism is for dying. I don't know. More complicated relationship stuff. At this point, I'm just in it to finish it. I'm not enjoying it, but that's okay. There was one part where he describes right before a battle and the way everything looks. Like, I think it's misty, and there's dew on the grass, and then just, like, the people rushing forward with the bayonets. And it was really, really pretty description. But that's the only super exciting thing I can think of right now for War and Peace. But I'm nearly at 3/4 of the way done. So I'm doing pretty well. And then we got a new bed. I mentioned that. My husband's back has been killing him recently, and so we did like a super grown-up thing, which is buy a bed. We buy very little furniture, maybe a couple of desks, some like cheapo bookshelves, the couch. We bought the couch. But most of our stuff was given to us, and including the bed. We did buy the box spring because it didn't come with a box spring. We were able to find someone to take everything for free. We thought since we got most of it for free, we should give it away for free. But it was this sort of awkward, like, you have only until the guys come to deliver it. So sort of last minute, he's arranging this bed pickup. Found someone to take it, which is awesome. But, yeah, and it's one of those, like, schmancy ones with Bluetooth. Don't know why you need Bluetooth in there, but that's okay. But it's got, it's memory foam, and it's got, like, the different adjustments, because we got, like, the super fancy one. I'm going to be in debt for the rest of my life, but I'm in debt for the rest of my life anyway, because of student loans, so I might as well have a nice bed to sleep on. And we got the split one, so, like, he can be sleeping in one position, and I can be, like, flat on my back, and he can be, like, curled up like a little baby. So that's been kind of awesome, and I'm kind of thinking, because I don't love the background here, I'm super limited in where I can podcast. I don't have a separate room. I covered up, we hung up you actually write it down, calendar, and I decided nobody needed to know where I was going to be this month, so I had to, find some magnets and cover it up, and you've got my Cog Railway magnet and my little Samantha American Girl magnet, so I hope you like those. And so I'm thinking, because the bed actually has a function where I can be mostly seated, and that's actually how my husband took the video of me. I was in the bed, sitting up. Maybe that will be something that I look into. I'd probably need like a breakfast in bed thing to put the iPad on. I don't know. So there may be a change in location. I can't make any promises. It's super blown out in here. There's always cats running around. I don't love it, but that might be a change in the future. I bought some makeup. I have been wearing eyeliner like every day since I got my new glasses, and I'm very picky about my eyeliner. I only wear the cream kind, like the self, you click it up and it's self-sharpening, even though all it really does is just like come up out of the tube. And I'm looking for fun colors because I missed that portion of being a teenager. I didn't really wear makeup, so you can't really find fun colors in that kind of eyeliner. But one of my work colleagues turned me on to Sephora, which, how did I not remember Sephora? There's one in West Lab. So my husband and I went the other day, and I picked up 2 of them. Forgot to grab them, but one of them is a black with glitter, because I threw out my old black one thinking it was causing some problems with my eyes. I think it's using toilet paper to remove your eye makeup. Don't do that. It's probably bad for you. So I decided to get fun black with glitter this time around. And then I got this super bright green, which is more like an emerald green. It's not like a lime green, but it's fun. And I posted a picture to Instagram, and nobody was like, oh God, you're doing it wrong. So I guess that's pretty good. So thanks Birchbox for turning me on to eyeliner. I now have like 6 eyeliners. Jeez. Speaking of Birchbox, did you love that segue? That was such a good segue, right? Speaking of Birchbox, that came in the mail. It's it's been a good mail month, between Knit Picks, between Birchbox, between my swap package, and then I've got my Mad Color Geek Tour coming by the end of the month, so money. Anyway, Birchbox came, and you know how I am with the reviews. This actually only came yesterday? Friday. So I haven't had it very long. Most of the time I podcast and I've had it longer. How cute is this box? By the way, I love all the boxes. They're super cute. So as we move and rearrange stuff around here, we'll do super tiny mini reviews because I've not even used most of this stuff yet. Comes with a couple pieces of paper in it. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Alright, so only got 5 products this month. Sometimes they throw in an extra freebie, but whatever. So first I thought this was something that I'd gotten before because this is now the 3rd Amika product I've gotten, but it's not. This is Amika Undone Texture Spray. Just this cute little can. I have super flat, thin, fine hair. It is just now long enough to put in a ponytail. I'm going to try and grow it out a little bit. I'm getting a little tired of my look, and so I thought maybe grow it out a bit, put it in a ponytail at work, help keep me cool in the summer. So I am due for a haircut this weekend. But so I did put a little bit of this in my hair this morning. I don't know if you're supposed to do it in dry hair, if you're supposed to do it in wet hair. But anyway, I wasn't loving how my hair looked, and it's hot and sticky out too, so that's probably part of it, but I'll try this again, of course. I didn't notice any major changes. It didn't feel crunchy or sticky though, which was nice. And the tough thing with hair products with me is anything I put in my hair, literally I take a picture of it because it doesn't look like that 10 minutes after I do it. So I'll never be one of those beauty pageant queens with the head of hair that goes out to here. It's not in my genes. So I will definitely give that another try. I also got the Kula Face Sunscreen in SPF 30. So I guess I thought we were getting sunscreen last month, but maybe I'm just confusing myself with things now. I have not used this yet. I need to use SPF on my face. I currently sometimes I blot with some Mineral Veil from Bare Essentials, and that's got some SPF in it, but I do need to be using sunscreen on my face because skin cancer is not funny. So I will definitely try this probably tomorrow when I go to work, even though I'm not going to be out in the sun. You know, sun exposure is sun exposure. So I'm interested to try this out. One of the BB or CC creams that I used that I liked that I haven't bought yet does have sunscreen in it also, but most of the time I'm just barefaced, so I will definitely try that out. And then another thing that I have tried is the Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion Skin Exfoliant. Jeez. I actually did try this out in the shower this morning. Oh, that's upside down. Yesterday? I don't remember. It's a very expensive full-size product. I can tell you that I think the full-size costs $78. I didn't love it. I'm hoping I can get another sample out of it, maybe try it again. But I think, for the price, I'm not sure that I really saw the benefits. I do have the Vasanti face wash that I bought that I'm still using the sample up. I bought a full-size one months ago, and I'm still using the sample. And I love that stuff. And it's a lot cheaper, so I'll, use the sample, but I think I found my microdermabrasion product. Oh, and it's sticky because it was in the shower. Gross. Okay, be a grown-up, Jen. Moving right along. And then I got some Juice Beauty Stem Cellular CC Cream in Desert Glow. It comes in this, big fancy package, and it tells you all about the things, and it legitimately folds out. It's bonkers. I have not tried this. This one does have a sunscreen in it. It's a 12-in-1 multitasker. Fancy. And it comes in this little tiny thing. And this is actually now the 3rd BB or CC cream I've gotten. I've only tried one of them. I didn't try the one I got last month, which I think was Dr. Jart. And it's not the lightest, but I think it's like the second light. Oh, and you can't even see it because it's got the thing on it still. So, anyway, Desert Glow. We'll see how well that works with my skin tone, but I think it's this second one there. So, that could be a disaster. We'll see. And I got my last product, and this is one that I knew I was getting because they said everybody was going to get one, but I was still happy with the color that I got. And this is the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick, and I got it in Venezia. And it looks super bright pink, because it is. I'm not wearing it right now. I did try it when I got it the other day, and I need to learn how to put on liquid lipstick, because I did a pretty bad job, and it didn't look good by the end of the 2 hours that we were out. But I will definitely try this again. My husband's like, whoa, that's bright. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fun. And I liked how the color looked on me. I just need to learn how to apply it better. Supposedly it stays like all day if you do it right. So, to YouTube with me, which is actually coincidentally where I'm headed now to edit and upload this video. If you've stuck around this long and you've dealt with my like shifty eyes as I don't look at the camera because the camera's over there, I really appreciate it. I'm weird, I'm out of there, I'm kind of quirky. I'm Jen, I'm the Uncreative Crafter. Remember guys, it gets done one stitch at a time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye!